Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be listening to a brand new release by none other than the incredibly talented Anna von Hausswolff. As you can see in the background, I've got her album Dead Magic up to my left, which is, in my opinion, one of the most underrated albums of 2018. Is a phenomenal album and her best work that I've heard yet. But after a long time of not hearing much from her, she has finally dropped another record, this time with vocals on it, unlike her last record, the one just after this one, All Thoughts Fly. The record we're listening to today was released on Halloween, which is very appropriate for an artist such as herself, that of course being the album Iconoclasts. Like I said, this is the first album with vocals from Anna von Hausswolff in quite some time. I think before this, the last one was actually Dead Magic, where her vocals made an appearance. And she's an incredible vocalist, in my opinion, one of the best singers working today. And unfortunately, she doesn't get the recognition she deserves, I would say, in the general mainstream, that's for sure. But I have seen some people in my comment section recommend her, despite the fact that I obviously already am a fan, but it still made me happy to see that other people are a fan of her as well. So without further ado, let's get into her new record, since it is an hour and 13 minutes, a pretty massive undertaking with 12 tracks with some big features. We've got Ethel Kane on here, who I've covered, of course, on the channel now twice with her last two albums, as well as Iggy Pop making an appearance, the incredible legend that he is, still going strong in his late 70s or so, working with none other than Anna, a big feature for her. As we get into this, I have not heard any of the singles. I know she dropped, I think, 3 singles from this, if I'm not mistaken, and I wanted to avoid them because I knew I would listen to this record upon release anyway, and I thought I would just keep it as fresh as possible. So let's just get into it with the first track here, Iconoclasts, The Beast, Anna von Hausswolff. Let's go. Not sure what to expect. Maybe her incredible organ playing, I would imagine. Oh. That sounds beautiful. Very, almost orchestral. Sounds like some horn work, maybe some sort of flute as well, maybe. Kind of sounds like it. Oh my god. Yeah, some strong, like it says here, some strong woodwind arrangements from Otis Senzio, I believe it's pronounced, with a sax as well from him. Incredible. Love how daunting this is getting. As expected, getting a little claustrophobic and drony. Oh, blaring synth. Wow. Love how beautiful and well arranged that opening was before it just almost turns into just pure noise. And now we're in a calm to close it out. What an opener. It feels pretty short and direct, but it is 3 minutes, pretty average runtime for a track, but incredible pacing with just the way that escalates and kind of comes apart. Here's Facing Atlas. Love the kind of repetition, the almost trill-like delivery.
I came to take you back to...
I have missed this voice. Have not heard her in ages put any new material out with her vocals. It just sounds like a return, you know, a huge return to form. Love to hear her coming back here. Sorry to pause it right away. But man, she's a wonderful singer. Such a massive sound so far on this record. Oh, love where this is going. This drum coming in. Such a harrowing voice.
Foolish hope of great eternal beauty. Can't we just
Oh,
run away? It's no fun to stay. Can't we?
what a massive track this already is. We're only on track 2, and this thing is incredibly powerful. Wow, this is like already reaching the heights of a Dead Magic here. Just insane how enveloping this feels. Very like cinematic and otherworldly. This feels so like triumphant and just like uplifting. Incredible atmosphere. Wow. Whew. That was only track 2. Not one to rate songs typically, especially on a first listen. I should say I never really rate them in these videos, but I will say, like, if I were to just throw a rating on there, like, that's a perfect 10 right there. That thing was massive. I love the slow progression of it, and as it kind of like broke through that midway point, just felt very triumphant. That drum sliding in too, and her vocals, wow. I feel like we haven't heard her sing in quite some time. And it feels like a breath of fresh air the way she just bursts through over an already just enveloping instrumental, really matching the energy there. Wow. Facing Atlas is a perfect track. Let's go into Iconoclast, which is the third track here at 11 minutes. This is the biggest track here, the most lengthy. Not that there isn't some mammoths coming up at the 8-minute mark, but still, let's get into this 11-minute title track. Not going to try to decipher too much in terms of meaning, but I will just take in what she's throwing at us here, which seems to be a lot. God, I love how massive this record is. Not subdued at all. She's employed like a full orchestra, I would feel. I love the woodwind arrangements, especially on here. They're very, you know, sick with those arpeggios. Very rapid. Love the galloping percussion on this one. Oh, he was soaring away with the synth, perhaps? Quite a, just like ethereal, magical aura on this record. Oh my god. Falling apart. That screech. Oh, I love the way the orchestra. Oh my god. Completely cuts out. Falls apart in shambles. Oh my god. And the strings slide in. It's almost like a proggy chamber pop sort of epic. Oh my god, the drumming. The epic sort of crashing sound. That synth is ripping through it all. Shout out Love Mayerson on the drum kit there. Oh, once again, completely falters and kind of implodes on itself here. Into a third part now? Like I said, a very kind of proggy epic track with all these different kind of movements coming into play. Love the structure of this one. Who is our sax here? Oh, it's still Otis, of course. Such a much wider. This might actually be a clarinet. Who's playing the clarinet? It's Otis once again. Our man Otis, killing it. This is an incredible passage too. Is this like a thesis on religion or something? Some sort of like deconstruction of a god or something.
Can I protect you?
Very dense lyricism as well. That could be
Can I protect you?
heavily analyzed, I feel. Such a rich track that was.
Can I protect you?
Wow. Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. What's to even say? Facing Atlas already kicked things off with an incredible momentum that was overwhelming. Iconoclast, track 3, 11 minutes, hits you over the head with a very like proggy sort of chamber pop track, something that I feel like you don't really see a lot of artists play with just how massive it was and all these different kind of movements and sections and the way things would sort of set up other sort of moments within the track and have a kind of callback. Just felt huge. Felt maybe her most epic sounding track yet, which is saying a lot. There's some pretty big tracks on Dead Magic, of course, but Iconoclast just felt overwhelming. Love how powerful the kind of orchestral arrangement is on this record already. Let's go into The Whole Woman with Iggy Pop, the legend himself. I feel like we're in the Viking era or something with these drums. Man, every track has had such a big sort of sound to it as well. Just incredibly enveloping. And like weirdly freeing. There's like this kind of freedom aspect within the atmosphere of the record.
I'll tell you the whole truth, and you will see me as the woman.
Very vulnerable sounding track. Oh, there he is, Iggy.
The mistakes that you made.
Give this a quick pause. Gotta say, his voice in the recent years, the last 10 years or so, he's really kind of grown accustomed to this deeper, more growly sort of tone, more grovelly in a way, and it certainly suits him. I think with his old age, he's kind of adjusted to a new style. It's fantastic. I know on the track that I'm forgetting the name of, Something in the Damned, I think, but it's off of the Good Times soundtrack. Incredible film, but his performance on there was incredibly emotional and evocative, and I feel like, we're getting him on here, same sort of grovelly tone, and just recent work I've heard from him, he's always kind of carried on this grovelly sort of vocal that matches his age, and ages well. I think this is a better approach with an old age kind of performance.
But I know
A deep
in my heart
kind of baritone sort of delivery.
I knew it from the start. When I see you, I lose my
Wow, they sound beautiful together as a duet.
time, I lose my day. Although reality is far
A very sweet track, it would seem.
when you
To be here, I want to
There's so much like love
want you.
within the track here.
I wanna touch you, smell your air. Join in our hearts. Will it bring us more apart?
This is such a moving,
if I tell
growing epic.
Who I am, will you love me?
thee and unleash your seas on me.
Wow. We're 4 for 4 with these tracks. Iggy Pop killed it. Incredible duet alongside Anna there, but I wonder, I can't shake this feeling of some sort of religious imagery, of some sort of godlike being. I don't know if it's intentional in the lyrics or if this is just something I'm kind of injecting myself, but it feels like maybe she's singing from like some sort of goddess-like approach, and he is maybe a worshiper of sorts, or maybe this is just a kind of sweet love track, maybe between two distant lovers of sorts. But incredible, powerful performances from both. Love the way the instrumental grew alongside them. Incredible. Let's go into the mouth. Wow. We're not even far into the record yet. If things carry on to the extent of these first 4 tracks, I'm excited for that Ethel Kane one coming up. Then, we have a huge possible album of the year contender. I feel like there's quite a few records I could, put up there so far, but this one is knocking me back with just how powerful these tracks are. She's not holding back at all, that's for sure. Here is The Mouth, another lengthy one, 7 minutes. Also great pacing, even on these lengthier cuts. They move with a growing ease. Oh, those descending strings there wrapping around. Once again, some more religious imagery. Again, I'm wondering what it all means, what it all comes together as. Some very rich, fantastical elements within the lyricism. Love that kind of pounding drum kit buried in the mix. Her layered vocals, that self-harmonizing she's been doing throughout the record, beautiful. Just incredibly powerful. Feels like she is reaching like an otherworldly, ethereal figure. Again, I'm getting some strong religious imagery throughout the track list so far, and a lot of this just feels like we are part of some sort of epic sort of odyssey of sorts. I felt violent, some of these synths sound with the way they're kind of vibrating out. I think that's is that a clarinet once again? My man Otis killing it. I feel like this is building up to a loss of control. Oh. It's kind of cycling around in her head. Oh. I love this, storm-like approach. It's going even more rapid. Cycling around. I was going front and center now. just like that, it disperses and kind of fizzles out. So much tension within that storm of orchestral sound. These are some heavy tracks. She's not holding back in any of these, you know, like if there's one thing she's kind of throwing out the window with this LP, is subtlety, you know? Hits you hard. Almost reminds me of a Swans record, but in a much more beautiful fashion, I would say. There's a lot more awe in it. Here's Stardust. That percussion. I like the echo on it. Philip maybe? Layman? Oh, this one's punchy. This one's a bit more kind of energetic and upbeat.
You break down into tears while I'm watching. Oh, I'm sorry, but you took me for granted.
Love the more kind of like shrill vocals she's doing here. She kind of channels in on this higher pitch once in a while. And having listened, you know, just last year to the entire Kate Bush discography on the channel, go ahead and check that out if you're interested, of course. But that was my first time ever listening to Kate Bush. And, you know, I'm hearing a lot of her in a lot of work nowadays. And I feel like Kate Bush is a huge influence on Hausswolff here, because the vocal delivery reminds me a lot of, you know, Kate Bush, especially in those earlier years.
I couldn't make no mistakes. God was granted.
Maybe like Hounds of Love era, especially with how massive this is. Love how like driven this beat feels. This whole instrumental feels a lot more fast paced. Oh, I love the synth work here. Just like grazing over it all. We already know who it is. It's our man Otis. I think our man Otis is the MVP of the record, that's for sure. Obviously, aside from Hausswolff. Her vocals are insane on this one, especially. Belt it out, Anna. How big is this woman's lungs, you know, like just belting it out with ease, and continues on to this next verse. I wonder if this is, again, like a track on some sort of god or goddess, or the theme of loss, perhaps. Wow. Perfect track. Love the galloping sort of momentum of it. Super fast paced. Love the clarinet work, I believe it was, from Otis. Once again, he's killing it. Love her vocals. What else is there to say? Just a powerful track. Here's Aging Young Woman with Ethel, Kane. Love to see this collab. Feels like a match made in heaven. This already kind of feels like a Ethel Kane led track. Reminds me of something off of Preacher's Daughter. Bit more of that iconic, gloomy atmosphere of hers. There she is.
You've been given time, but this bird cannot leave. Will slowly disappear.
Even that kind of feels like it's tying into Ethel Kane's sort of imagery and ideologies that we see appear in both records of hers. Speaking on the loss of a dream and the loss of family. Again, very much apparent in her work. So certainly a unique blend here, bringing in her style. Oh, and of course, church. What? Might as well get right to the point with her. Ooh, kind of an abrupt finish. A beautiful one. I like the way they duet together. They sound great. They've got a similar kind of vocal ability and sense of, power for sure. Definitely feels like a blend of their styles too, bringing in that kind of sense of church and family drama of an Ethel Kane, and of course the just powerful religious imagery of an Anna. The two of them together, great. Maybe not as hard hitting as some of the other tracks here, but I did like this one quite a bit. I think it's a little bit more of a subdued sort of track, one that is gonna fly under the radar, I think, for some people. Of course, not the fans of both artists, but I feel like compared to the rest of the record, not as monumental, but I think will be important in the grand scheme of things in terms of the sequencing of the album. Just have a bit more of a softer cut. Liked it a lot. Here's Consensual Neglect. This might be maybe an instrumental led one. It is. I like this one so far. It's very much more minimal, focused on our man Otis. Love how spacey and ethereal this one already feels. It kind of reminds me of something that The Comet Is Coming would do. Not sure if they're still active, but just a very spacey, ethereal, kind of jazzy-led piece. Kind of like the first track, I think it was, getting very blaring and in an ease into this sense of just noise. Very drony. Beautiful. Very similar to that opener with the Beast. Just eases into that noise and focuses on Otis with that clarinet, who sounds fantastic as always. I liked it. I like that one a lot. Kind of pads out some of the more kind of epic vocal tracks. Here's Struggle with the Beast. Getting a bit of a groove here. Love this beat it's sinking it to. Oh, getting quite electronic as well. What a great collaborative artist Anna and Otis are on this LP. Like such a jazzy kind of jazz rock piece this is, completely stepping away from anything Dead Magic was, I would say. Especially this track just feels entirely unique and new territory for Anna von Hausswolff. Love the drum work as well. Very like jazz drum focused as well. That is Philip Lehman once again doing a great job. Double bass as well. Victor Router. He does a great job too. Doesn't necessarily not as in your face as the other two, but still. Oh my god, this sound is like crashing.
The hospital this morning.
3 minutes in, we're just getting her vocals. Right back into it. What I'm especially impressed by, especially with a track like this, is everything is like kind of pushed to the max. Like the drum work, the clarinet, the synths, everything is just like pushed up to 10. And I feel like everything should be so muddy and just kind of messy within that mix. And yet all of it is crystal clear. I think the mixing and the production is very dynamic across the board with this record, which again, that in itself is incredibly impressive for something that is just so, all enveloping and everything pushed up to 100. Incredible. Bit of a punk delivery there. Oh. Love those backing vocals there on Angel's crying out and she can't get out. We soar straight up. Yeah, another perfect one. Great arpeggios on that. Great arrangements. Love the way it dials back in the verses for Anna to come through strong. And of course, like I said, the drumming on that one, as well as the clarinet, just really pushed to the limits. Yet the mixing on them is crystal clear. Nothing gets lost. I'm very impressed with the production and the mixing. It says right here, production producers are Anna von Hausswolff and Philip Lehman. I'm not sure if they are entirely responsible for just how well mixed it is. Maybe there's somebody else in terms of mix. I don't know, but they're doing a great job. Whoever is really pulling their weight there, phenomenal. If it's all Anna von Hausswolff really doing the bulk of it all, very impressed continuously with what she's capable of. Here's An Ocean of Time. This next one here, another 8-minute one. I'll have to give this one a listen sometime. This one's a much more gradual one. We're about almost 3 minutes in, and it's been a much slower, more brooding start. Maybe a little bit more of a subdued track, which makes sense. That last one was pretty intense. I like this one. It's a lot more minimal, just focused on the droney kind of synth work. A very dense, eerie atmosphere, but done so in a more calming way. I like this one. I like this one a lot. It's such a soft kind of come down after just how massive these were. And I think this would work as a closer with just how kind of subdued it was. I have a feeling the closing track will be a bit more instrumental led, if anything. Let's go into track 11, Unconditional Love. I don't know why I said that. Unconditional Love, 7 minutes. Let's just ease into it. I have waited for 15 years. I wonder, Maria von Hausswolff is on this. I am imagining, is that her sister, most likely. believe this is her sister, and if I'm not mistaken, give that a quick pause. I believe her sister, Maria, here, I think she did the cover for Dead Magic. I remember reading at one point that the cover artwork was some sort of art project from her sister. So just a little Easter egg, a little tidbit for those who may be unaware, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Love the arrangements on this one. A bit more of an uplifting focus. I believe that's Maria there. A subtle contribution.
Can't see, push your lids apart. I won't go until you let go. Foggy eyes, they are here to climb.
Love how delicate this track is, especially. Is this a track about that sisterly love as well with Maria? I'm not sure. This unconditional love of family, perhaps. Oh, coming together here in unison. Really powerful harmonizing here. I feel like the organ is especially strong on this track. Another one that I think there's a little bit more subtlety to it. It's much more delicate in its growing nature. Her and Maria sound great together, and I do wonder if this is a track on just their relationship in general. It seems like a much sweeter, more emotional-led track. Loved it. The organ playing was great. I feel like organ throughout this record has been not as in your face as something like a Dead Magic, for example, which it being like Anna von Hausswolff's main instrument. She's really clearing the floor for others to really step in, and they sound great. Of course, I feel like she is the lead, almost like conductor of sorts, and she's doing great here. Here's Rising Legends closing it out, the shortest by far, 2.5 minutes. Final track. Imagine, yeah, this one is instrumental as expected. I feel like it just feels this like it's meant to be a kind of bookend of sorts. 3 instrumentals though. I expected more going into it, so I'm kind of glad with how carefully placed they were. Quite a gloomy, sort of smoky finish. quite a brooding. Just like, oh, expected another kind of beat there. There it is. Finishes with a drone. A nice kind of brooding, almost end credits of sort instrumental. But that does it for Iconoclasts by Anna von Hausswolff. Let's quickly get into it. An hour and 13 minutes, 12 tracks, one of which reaches 11 minutes, and most of these, or quite a few of these, hitting 7 or 8 minutes. Pretty lengthy tracks on here, and I feel like a lot of them kind of work in movements, especially the title track, Iconoclast, which is 11 minutes, and feels like a very proggy kind of chamber pop epic with the way it has these separate sections and leads into each one quite smoothly and gradually, each section almost falling apart in shambles before it eases into a next. And the instrumentals as well, The Beast, Consensual Neglect, and Rising Legends, kind of pad out the time a little bit more with some sort of tone setters, I would say. But then you have tracks like The Whole Woman with Iggy Pop, which I feel like their duet was insane. A great contrast of vocals. Hers, of course, much more shrill and high-pitched, whereas Iggy Pop has really settled into that grovelly baritone voice, and I feel like the two of them together sound fantastic. And it's a very kind of emotionally romantic sounding track, but I can't decipher the lyrics necessarily of what it's aiming to do. I feel like that is something with this album that will take time to fully digest, and maybe that's something I'll dig into later, is the themes of the record and the lyrics. But for the most part, I feel like, it's dealing with themes of maybe some sort of religion or gods or goddesses kind of rising and falling. It's very powerful in its sound and focus. I feel like Anna is really going all out and putting kind of every last effort into making this feel like an epic of sorts. It feels like an odyssey. And Ethel Kane's track as well, I think they sound great together. They have a similar sort of vocal ability, but it kind of brought in Ethel Kane's more Midwestern sort of Americana into things. Great mix. Stardust was fantastic. Love the energy on it. There was some more upbeat tracks, such as that one, for example. Struggle with the Beast was another one, too, which was just incredibly fast-paced and direct and really hit you hard in those massive walls of sound. And also Facing Atlas. Forgot about that one almost, but that one was technically the first track, at least with lyrics. And that one just hits you hard. Like right off the bat, I was just blown away by the scale of the record, and it just never really lets up. There's not a lot of moments on this record where there's a moment to simmer, except for maybe the instrumentals. The clarinet work as well from Otis was incredible. Love his arpeggios. Love the drum work as well. Just incredibly dense, powerful, beautiful epic. A chamber pop sort of jazz rock masterpiece, really, is what I would say about this record. It's honestly probably better than Dead Magic, and I've been listening to that since 2018. But at this point, at least the first listen, this feels more grand and feels more just fully realized, whereas that record did have a couple of tracks that do meander, I'll admit. This one, I never felt like I wanted the track to end. I felt like they were perfectly padded out and paced incredibly well. And for an hour and 13 minutes, the album itself has pretty great pacing, which is saying a lot. Easily a possible album of the year contender. I don't know if there's a single album I've heard this year that has as much weight or as much density to it. It does feel like it's striving to be something more than your typical album, and for that, it does pull it off. So, Iconoclasts, Anna von Hausswolff, phenomenal album, and one that I'm definitely going to be seeing in my top 10 of the year, probably top 5, if not number 1, because I'm sure as I listen to this more and more, I'll just continue to appreciate all the deep intricate details that she brings forth there. But that does it for today's video. If you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe to follow along in listening to more albums alongside myself. Of course, we're doing new records. We've done some Pink Floyd for old records. We've covered Bjork's entire discography. If all that sounds interesting to you, you want to see the full unedited content of all my videos, check the description down below. My Patreon is linked there. For $5 a month, you get every video I've done this year completely unedited. So you get to hear the whole album alongside myself and, of course, the thoughts I share on the main channel here. But, as always, my name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.